led since Ohio State came in here. Jack Scullion will get us underway, number 93. Patel handles the field goal chores. And back deep, Keith Reynolds, number 15. And we got to touch back and bring it out to the 25-yard line, and that's where Will Rogers, who set a total of 29 single-game season and career records while in Stark Vegas, playing in the SEC, makes his way out. Last week, 20 of 28, a season-low 223. That's not bad. A couple of touchdowns in his last outing, but he's extraordinarily accurate. And that's something he's really improved upon. The scuttlebutt on him while at Mississippi State was he did throw a few too many picks. He has none so far this year. Jonah Coleman and Cameron Davis are the setbacks. It's Coleman dotting the I, and he carries off the left side. It's ahead to about the 28-yard line for a gain of 3. And what about this Washington offense?
Yeah, they got big guys up front that have played together. They have a good cohesiveness. They're trying to figure out. They brought in all these new guys, but being together has really brought them closer, and they think that they're hitting their stride in the pass and run blocking game.
Jed Fish, after an extraordinary run to end the year at Arizona, got the call when Kalen DeBoer took the Alabama job. Washington fresh off a finalist category finish to their season a year ago. And there's Jeremiah Hunter on the receiving end of the first pass of the evening out to the 39-yard line, a gain of 11 and a first down.
It's a nice job, nice and calm to start the game. You get movement and run a dig route inside off of a corner blitz. A very nice job of Will Rogers not panicking, understanding there's a corner blitz coming, but I can just throw and replace him with this dig route.
A lot of new faces with this team. And on the offensive front, DeMond Williams Jr. has come in as a Wildcat quarterback, number 2. And on the read, he gives it to Coleman. And Jonah Coleman pops it past midfield just into Rutgers territory, a gain of 12.
Although Will Rogers can run the football, when you bring in DeMond, you get an opportunity to even out the numbers in the box, right? So when you add 6 guys in the box, you got +1 with the quarterback. And when you make that first guy miss, you can get down the field. And this is what Josh was talking about. A talented running back in Jonah Coleman. He wants to show that he is just as good as the guy on the other side.
And Williams, the freshman from Chandler, Arizona, remains in the game with Coleman in the backfield. And now he'll swing it out on a quick out pattern. It's caught by Giles Jackson, the favorite target. And he has it to the 42-yard line now of Rutgers after a gain of 8, and Rogers checks back in.
Got a lot of space out there with retreat coverage. And a lot of quarterbacks don't like bringing in another quarterback, and it kind of breaks your rhythm. But when you can get positive plays on both of those plays, it does nothing. And Will Rogers just gets to come back in with 2nd and short.
Coleman remains the setback. Tight end in the slot, Latu. And it's Coleman following him as they went heavy to that side of the field. A gain of 4 and another first down. This offense, as we mentioned, a lot of changes. The leader of that group, Enoch Vamayi, there you see him, number 57, the right guard. He's been around for a while. This is a receiving core that's outstanding. Boston and Jackson lead the way. The tight end is Latu. Moore could not go. Adam Muhammad is now checked into the game, and that is Brennan Carroll, the son of Pete, who runs the offense. Although Fish calls the plays. Of course, a noted offensive guru himself, Jed Fish. And they flood the zone and go with a screen look, and it was set up, but Muhammad stumbled a bit coming out of the gates. DJ Jabome came up with the stop. We got a marker down, and let's check it. Jerry McGinn is our referee tonight. Picked up a couple of yards, and here's the call forthcoming. And we'll take a look at the Rutgers defense. They are strong up front.
Personal foul. Number 75. Late hit after the play. With targeting. Plays under further review.
Wow. Titi Ali, 75, the center, is being whistled here for targeting. Oh, boy.
The question will be, is number 0 Eric Rogers the defenseless player, which I think he actually is, on the ground, defenseless, and it's head or neck area, even though it's not the crown of the helmet. I think they are going to get him for targeting, and that's a big loss. Your center for Washington.
Well, you can make a case that he tilted that head in that direction.
Yes, but when the defender is defenseless, Tim, it doesn't even matter if you get the crown of the helmet. As long as you make forcible contact to the head or neck area, it can be called for targeting. The question is, will they deem Rogers defenseless?
Well, this is a guy that has started all 4 games and has been here 20-23 at Portland State. And here's Mike Pereira, and he'll give us the lowdown. Mike?
I'll tell you, the one thing, I'd say if you're on the ground and you get piled on, you're defenseless. I just think that at that point, you are going to be in that position.
And to further review, there is no targeting. Number 75 may remain in the game. The 15-yard penalty for the late hit will still be enforced.
And so as a defenseless player, you've got to get him, attack him, and get him in the head or neck area. Not so sure that forearm got there. Looked like it might have, but it certainly wasn't flagrant enough. Now, they did call unnecessary roughness with targeting, so therefore the unnecessary roughness stays on, which will give Washington will give a second and 25, actually, because it was a dead ball foul.
With that in mind, something to consider, he did tilt his head. He was defenseless, but the helmet itself hit the shoulder pad. But, boy, that's a subjective call. You could have gone either way with that. Replay official Tom Kissinger said no targeting. So on 2nd and 23, Rogers lets it go, checks it down underneath to Kaleki Latu, who is starting in place of Quentin Moore, who's now out for the 2nd consecutive game. Excellent defensive work. Eric Rogers coming over, and we've got a 3rd down and long still coming up.
On that previous down, Rutgers went to a too-high look just because of such a long distance to go. Now I believe they will come down into that cover 4 so that they can read these route patterns. Remember, number 5 in white is a guy that Will Rogers loves to depend on. Right here, Giles Jackson.
2-by-2, 4 out, and they go underneath, little tunnel look. Little tunnel screen to Jonah Coleman, and he is wrapped up by Keontae Hamilton, the tackle, number 48. Only 5 picked up on that play, and we'll see what the decision here is for the Huskies on 4th and 9.
Yeah, that feels like a play that you run just to see what you can get, because you are going to go for it, and this is aggressive.
Yes, it is.
And I can't say that I don't agree. Because of the way they move the ball, aside from that penalty, they pretty much gotten what they wanted. And Will Rogers have proven all season that he can be trusted.
Brennan Carroll looking on. Rogers down the seam, incomplete. Into double coverage. Denzel Boston, the intended receiver. But he was blanketed. And Rutgers will have it on downs when we come back. That penalty was costly to UW. Stay in the game, sponsored by Hampton by Hilton. For the stay. Give me those keys, Devin.
Yeah, for Washington, you got to eliminate Monungai. We know he can do in the run game. Force Athan Kaliak-Manis to throw the ball down the field. And for Rutgers, you have to hit Rogers early and often. He's the 3rd most accurate passer in the country right now, and it's because he's not getting hit enough. You need to make sure you are in his face. Doesn't have to be sacked as long as you get him on the ground and make him feel you.
This is a veteran Rutgers team that does have some experience returning from a club that also had an unbeaten September a year ago, wound up 7-5 and a bowl winner. Zach Durfee, number 5, the edge rusher, wraps up Monungai on 1st down. Just a gain of a yard, 2nd and 9. There's the numbers on Kaliak-Manis, the senior from Antioch, Illinois. And he's come a long way and followed, of course, his offensive coordinator, Kirk Shiraka, who's one of the best in the business. Shiano loves him. He had been, of course, at Minnesota with Shiraka. They came together. Monungai remains the setback. Miller in motion. Pass a little bit out in front of Miller and incomplete. Dymere Miller, senior from Coatesville, Pennsylvania, leads the Scarlet Knights in receptions with 13.
What you're going to see is man-to-man defense for Washington all night. And when you have man-to-man defense, there have to be accurate passes because now you have them spinning back. And you got a big, strong safety coming down to lay the wood.
Greg Schiano was very concerned about these corners. Steve Belichick, the defensive coordinator, with that Bear defense that's synonymous, of course, with the Patriots and Bill Belichick. Got a whistle, stopping
Previous
play.
play is under further review for a possible targeting foul.
Oh, boy. Cameron Broussard, number 8. With that hit, they're going to check for targeting. So far it would appear that our officials are calling it tightly so far tonight.
Yeah, you can see he's driving. He ducks his head.
He ducks his head into the chest.
And I'm an offensive player, and as much as I think that's a talented, violent football play, because of the nature and the defensive receiver plus ducking of the head, that 6-inch circumference on the top of your helmet, it looks like he clearly ducks it. However, they deemed a guy on the ground not defenseless on the last one.
Absolutely.
So we will see what happens here. And Mike Pereira, what do you make of this one?
Well, I look at this one, and the key to me always is that crown, because here we're looking at, it does not get him in the head or neck area, but is he looking straight down at the ground when he leads with the helmet? Is he attacking? Those are the types of things that you have to look at. And this is the play they're really trying to get out of the game to protect the player that's doing the hitting, quite frankly, because he's more at risk than anybody in this particular situation. So, yeah, I think the fact that they stopped it, that Kissinger stopped it, leads me to believe that they will put targeting on this play.
Broussard.
If you want to get super technical, Tim, does his helmet kind of slide off to the right just a little bit?
Possibly.
And maybe not that perfect 6-inch circumference on top of the helmet? And if there's any doubt, you can't put targeting on. And I wonder if they're looking to see that. Mike, what do you think about that? Just a little bit off to the right a tad, and maybe don't call targeting there.
It could be, and you're right about that. This is what it's not. Forget what they call or didn't call. They have to re-officiate this play, and they have to have all the indicators there. But again, you get nervous when you drop your head like that and you lead like that.
After further review, there is no targeting on the play. Number 8 may remain in the game.
My partner was on to something there, Mike.
He's better than I am. I've taught him so well, Tim. What can I say?
That's right, Mike.
But they better be careful leading with the helmet like that. I will say that.
Well, it would appear that the officials are calling it tightly, and our replay official is being a little more democratic. So far in this game with the 2 stoppages in play. Manungai remains the setback. It's 3rd down and 8.
Washington is staying in that cover 1 defense with a lot of guys at the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to bring them.
They are off both edges. Galiakmanis overthrown. He was targeting his tight end, Kenny Fletcher. Boy, we were at the practice yesterday, and this kid has got a great future. He was a rush end at one point, converted from defense to offense at tight end now.
Yeah, they give pressure, but then they drop out one guy underneath a shallow cross, which is what you want to get to versus man-to-man coverage. He's right in the passing lane. You can see big number 42, Carson Bruner. Very nice job of Belichick understanding what he has, show pressure, drop out.
Jacob Anderson, who was found by Adam Korzek, the Ray Guy Award winner from a year ago, now playing in Ottawa in the CFL. And Boston was on the receiving end with that fair catch. They'll have it at their 27-yard line when we come back. Just underway in Jersey.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Cars, homes, boats, motorcycles, RVs, and more. In the first series of the game, Washington was rolling. They had a penalty, but then on 4th down 9, they decided to go for it. What happened?
You can see Rutgers goes to a too-high defense, and if it's too high, you want to get to the middle, but they take a defender right out of the line of scrimmage and turn it into Tampa 2, made famous by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that's why that ball has to be thrown way down the field, because there's no real window for Will Rogers to throw it. So a nice start for that defense of Rutgers, confusing the talented quarterback so that ball can't be completed.
And somewhere in heaven, Monty Kiffin is smiling. Cameron Davis and Jonah Coleman in the backfield. Rogers flushed, has plenty of green grass, and he'll have a first down well beyond the 35-yard line, shoved out at the 36 by Jabome, 28, Darryl DJ Jabome.
The one thing that Washington does a very nice job of is moving the launch point of the quarterback, putting him in different positions, not necessarily on a naked bootleg, but maybe a half roll so that the launch point is different every time. On that play, they max protect and had only 2 routes down the field. Will Rogers didn't like it. He picks up yards and sets up an opportunity for a big play action shot.
I prematurely gave him a first down. He actually stepped out a yard shy of it. Coleman carries this time, and he's close. Jabome with the stop, and they'll give him the line to make, so it is a first down after the running play to Coleman. You think about the travel that Washington had in front of them. That was such a conversation piece when they were added into the Big Ten, to go from coast to coast. And remember, Rutgers has not been in the Big Ten for a long time themselves, following Nebraska in the original expansion a few years earlier. In fact, Greg Schiano, had it happened, maybe a year, 2 years earlier, would have never left Rutgers. Coleman on a stretch play. Well, he did all he could to get maybe a yard beyond the line of scrimmage. Aaron Lewis, 71, the defensive end, the first to get there.
Take a look at Big 74 running down the field and hasn't touched a soul, and there's guys tackling his running back. A nice job of Coleman trying to make something out of nothing, but how about that Rutgers defense expanding, stretching it out, and making sure that the cavalry can come?
Well, their defense has given up only 43 first downs all season long, third best in the country. And that was before tonight. Huskies got 3 easy first downs in that opening drive until that 15-yard roughing penalty that could have been targeting and wasn't. 2nd and 7, quick slant. It's caught. It's Jackson, and he's got another first down to the 48 of the Scarlet Knights.
Very nice job there by Will Rogers, and you see it all over the tape. His eyes are straight there, and then he goes out to his passing pattern. He controls the linebackers with his eyes. On that play, they go back to the Tampa 2. They take Tyrene Powell down the middle of the field so he can get right to his slant route into the middle of the defense.
Jackson is a little woozy. Yeah, I think he went down hard, and he's a little woozy. I have to spend some time in protocol here as they take a look at him, and we'll have to bring him out of the game for a short period of time. That was a tough physical hit. Watch as his head hits the turf, too. Sometimes you're looking to go down. Then he gets a knee. That was Big Ben Olsen that made the stop 4, and he got a knee to go along with it.
Good to see him jog off the field under his own power.
They'll probably check him out briefly, see if he can re-enter the game. Yep, that's what they're going to do. So Boston now becomes the number 1 target as a wide receiver. Number 12. Out of the shotgun. Jonah Coleman is with him. Oh, nice change of direction by Coleman. And that's Rogers out in front of him throwing a block. How about that? That'll bring back some memories of Devin Gardner while at Michigan.
What an outstanding job to get this ball here and then bounce it back around. He sees that there's not a lot of space in there. Oh, I'll go out this way. And Big Will Rogers gets in front to try to help him out.
Pickup of 11, a first down. Play fake, slant again, caught. And down to the 22 of Rutgers, Jeremiah Hunter, the senior from Fresno, California. 3 catches and 41 yards against Northwestern last week. Had a very big game prior to that against Eastern Michigan.
Very nice quick decision by Will Rogers. Safety comes down, throw the ball right behind him. A very nice job. Get the ball out quickly in the RPO game.
First down 10 with the ball at the 22. 7 first downs now for the Huskies. Muhammad is in the backfield. Rogers going for a big one, and that was a zig rather than a zag as his receiver went inside, both Boston and Hunter, and the pass was a post corner. So a little communication issue that time for the receivers and Will Rogers at quarterback.
You can hear it. You can see him read his lips. I got to hit that.
Yep.
Right. He had a nice sail route, and the sail route is a deep out with a post on the outside.
Half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
And a late flag. Roughing the passer was the call. So he was shaking out some cobwebs as well. Let's see this. Yeah, no need for it. That was Jordan Thompson.
I don't know, Tim. That's close. That's close. He's got one step to make contact as the ball's coming out.
They're calling it tight.
They're really calling it tight.
They really
so if
are.
you understand that, if you're Rutgers, if you're Washington, make sure you understand that it's being called that way and adjust accordingly.
I'm with you.
They line the running back outside just to see what coverage they're going to get and bring him back in, and there's another flag.
Pre-snap this time.
False start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Kaleki Latu is the guilty party. Jackson actually was flagged. He was the intended receiver. Perhaps he was lining up in that direction, and Latu was the guilty party. So now it's 1st and 15. They can get a first down inside the 1, so they can get a first down without benefit of a touchdown. But it's, frankly, they got to be thinking 1st and goal.
Down here tight, they love to go cover 4 with brackets.
Coleman. Hard to run against that defense up front with guys like Hamilton, Ray, Lewis, Thompson. And they're fairly deep in that area, too.
Yeah, and when you have those run plays, you got to create a new line of scrimmage, and they aren't able to move this defensive line of Rutgers. They do a nice job of hit, extend, and then disengaging to make a play on the running back.
Rutgers has not allowed their opponents to score a first quarter touchdown yet this year. Williams back in the game at quarterback. So Wildcat again with Coleman behind him. Reed, zone read, look out! Well-conceived play that time, and he managed to get to the 5-yard line, so he may stay in given that running play.
I love this design. The read is inside, right? They're reading a defensive tackle, and he's just not used to it, and Damon Williams does a nice job pulling that ball out and getting all that he can get, getting close to the first down.
And the freshman from Chandler, Arizona, first modern UW quarterback to throw a touchdown pass in the first game he had as a true freshman.
They leave Damon Williams in on 3rd down. It just shows how much they trust this young quarterback.
Yeah, I figured they would after he got him to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and that wrinkle that they showed just then, that was really cool to see them read the defensive tackle rather than defensive end. And we'll see what Damon Williams and his offense can do when we come back.
Fox College football sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. 0-0 our score. Timeout. The 2 coordinators now, Brennan Carroll and Joe Harris-Simiak. That's right, just like his breath smells like Similac, it's Simiak. That's the defensive coordinator for Rutgers. Coleman is the setback out of the shotgun. Rogers, fade pattern, incomplete, and again a mix-up. Boston was in the corner, but I think he was looking towards really Jackson more so than they're talking about it now. There was clearly some confusion that time.
Yeah, Will Rogers tries to throw a slot fade, which I like down here in this tight formation with man-to-man coverage. But the wide receiver had no idea the ball was coming to him, and the ball just lands harmlessly in the end zone, but out of reach of the wide receiver.
Grady Gross comes in, 6 out of 7, 24 for 29 in his career. This is a slight angle, well, more than a slight angle, left from the right hash for 22 yards. And the Huskies are on the board. They'll have to iron out those mix-ups in the passing game on this Black Friday. Steely Dan had that as a hit back in the mid-'70s, Devin. That was long before you were listening to the radio.
Absolutely.
But I was working on it back then.
I bet you were.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Well, we've seen Brennan Carroll, but how about these coordinators and their lineage? Son of Pete, coached with his dad in Seattle from 15 to 20, an assistant O-line coach and run game coordinator. Steve Belichick, defensive coordinator now here at Washington. Son of Bill, coached with his dad in New England, actually called the plays the last 5 years. And yeah, there he is. Only thing missing is the hoodie.
Yeah, he's feeling good these days,
yeah,
right?
There's Steve with him as they came out pregame.
A little more fashion these days,
yeah.
Doesn't have to just be so. Look, his son is taking over the hoodie.
I noticed you were talking to him down there.
Oh, yeah.
Did you let him know you were doing well?
Yeah, I told him I got a job now. After the Patriots cut me, I was like, hey, Bill, guess what? I got a job. He said, you do.
Yeah. The Turk came calling, and you wound up with Timmy B.
There we go.
Who knew?
Yep. I was with TB12. Now I'm with TBU.
There you go. If you are just closing your eyes and listening to Steve in a conversation, he sounds just like his dad.
It was terrifying, honestly.
Oh, my God. It was.
And I guess you expect it because they grew up, and he grew up in the same house, obviously. It's his father, but there is literally no difference in the way they speak.
By the way, the best time to talk to Bill is on the field before a game.
Oh, yeah, he smiles.
And tells some stories. Here's Dremel, and he'll take it for the fair catch and bring it out to the 25. Big noon kickoff live from UCF, where the Knights are set to face Colorado at the Bounce House. DJ Khalid will hit the stage. We've got exclusive interviews with Kirby Smart and Deion Sanders. On Big Noon, of course, it's number 12, Michigan at Minnesota, only on Fox. Saw where my buddy Kevin Kugler will be on hand to call that game. There's that conversation. Was he talking about your midriff there when he was checking you?
He said I look nice. He said I look good. I told you he's in the fashion now. I told you that.
He liked the, yeah. Well, he may be thinking about more TV than just, what he's doing online in his near future. Monangai. He gets so many tough yards. Carson Bruner, 42. If the name sounds familiar, it should. His dad, Mark Bruner, 9 yards on that gain for Monangai, 2nd and 1.
Nice job by that offensive line getting to the second level. The big center, they go double team with Zelinskis, and he climbs to the second level and just walls them off, and it gives Monangai space. And if you give Monangai space, it's going to be a tough night.
This is a solid offensive front for Rutgers. Anchored by
zero coverage.
Zelinskis. Monangai wrapped up at the point of attack. No gain this time. Durfee makes the stop. The thing you're going to notice about Monangai is he takes those short, choppy steps and can change direction in a heartbeat.
When you have zero coverage, you got all these guys down in the box. That's 8 guys to make that play. That's where there's nowhere to go. And then you got another guy coming from the motion to help set the edge. A very nice job by Washington, showing a different coverage that they haven't shown to this point in the game. And now they go back to cover 1, which is another former man, but now they have one safety high.
They try to power it again. And Monangai's going to get it. Pick up a 2 and a first down out to the 37-yard line. And by the way, that's an illustration of the game plan for Washington defensively. They're going to stack it, and they're going to make Kaliakmanis beat them with his arm, as you mentioned at the very top of the show. That's the first down for Schiano's offense tonight.
Yeah, when we were talking to Coach Belichick, he was saying, we may do this, we may do that. But I knew that he would steal what Virginia Tech did because he thinks he can do it with his defense, a little better players, and they're following that model right now with all these guys in the box.
Yeah, they're coming off an emotional road victory at Virginia Tech at Lane Stadium. Tough place to play. Monangai, again, nothing doing. I think he stopped really for no gain that time. They actually used a play on 4th down in that game where it looked like a push for the quarterback on a sneak, and then he handed it backwards to Monungai for a touchdown.
Again, you can see there's just more white jerseys than there are black jerseys, and you just can't block them all. You got free guys, and as talented as Monungai is, he's not going to be able to get loose if they don't loosen them up with some of that play action and RPO to replace those linebackers that are getting into the line of scrimmage.
At this stage, it would appear Athan needs a confidence builder in the passing game. And there's a slant, incomplete. That one was thrown a little behind the intended receiver, Dymere Miller. Jordan Shaw, number 3, the nickelback, in coverage.
You're right. It was thrown behind, and it really gave an opportunity for Shaw to make that play. You can see this rain is starting to pick up. Shaw is in perfect position, and he comes, and Cadillac Manis makes it a little easier for him to reach in and take that ball away with it being behind.
You know, he's 0 for 3 in the air. And you're right, that intermittent rain that was in the forecast has reared its head again.
This is the position you don't want to be in if you're Rutgers, these 3rd and long situations where it's obvious passing downs for Cadillac Manis.
And they've got some ball hawks in that secondary. Pressure. Cadillac Manis finds this man on the crossing pattern. Chris Long, the senior from Willingboro, New Jersey. Well, that's what the doctor ordered for Cadillac Manis.
Man-to-man, outside leverage. He gets underneath and into the void. A very nice throw. We saw a behind throw on this drive, but now that's a perfect pass so he can catch, run, and pick up the first down.
19 yards on the reception.
Got cover 2, middle of the field open here. You should be able to run the ball against a lighter box. All right, they're going to change. It's kind of a chess match that you're playing here. You can see they change. Now Belichick's going to change. Yep, guys back in the box.
Yeah, Monungai hammered and pushed back again after he changed the play. They were aware and adjusted properly. Javon Parker, junior from Detroit, number 94 with a stop.
You can see the chess match happening. With 2 guys removed from the box in cover 2 for Washington, that's a time where Rutgers wants to run the ball. Well, when Rutgers starts to change their play and get to that run, Belichick does a nice job of sending those guys back into the box, coming out of too high and putting people at the line of scrimmage so that they can stop the run.
This defense is anchored by those linebackers, Bruner and Tupatala. Cadillac Manis tucks it, takes it, first down.
You can see they stunt right out of the way, and Cadillac Manis sees it. He climbs in the pocket and protects the ball, most importantly, and gets enough for a first down. That's not a guy who's afraid of the moment here on Friday night.
Was that a quickly played first quarter? Oh, yeah. And that was even with a couple of targeting calls that we had to survey.
Yeah.
Ground and pound. It's Friday. Little Bootsy's Rubber Band, Parliament Funkadelic. Don't ever give up the funk, baby. It's Friday Night Lights on Fox.
Da, da, da.
Pacific Life Game Summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 160 years. By the way, that was the first time this year that Rutgers hasn't scored in a quarter. They had previously scored in all 12 that they had participated in, and Cadillac Manis finally gets a pass completion towards the end of the quarter, and a 13-yard pickup on the ground has Rutgers in the best shape they've been in yet. Samuel Brown, number 27, has checked in for Monungai. He's coming off a 60-yard performance at Lane Stadium against Virginia Tech.
A big reason why they weren't able to score in that first quarter is because Washington did such a good job of controlling the football and essentially getting what they wanted. If not for a few penalties, they moved the ball really, really well.
Boy, that penetration is just so good. They're getting tackles for losses now. Tupatala, number 11. Alfonso in there again. He's the green dot. He's the communicator. Sets the defense for Belichick. Loss of a yard, so second down and 11. They've had Rutgers behind the chains quite a bit so far in this game.
You can see they're lining up in that 2 high, and then they come down into 1 high right now. It's an opportunity to go play action and throw the ball behind those linebackers.
Sprint out action and checks down to Fletcher, the tight end. And again, they're all over that. Well read. You can really see the pro influence in both of these teams with Shiano and Fish, one an offensive guru, the other a defensive star coach. So it's 3rd down and 9 coming in. Yet again, they've been faced with a lot of 3rd and longs in this game. They answered the bell last time, Rutgers did. Washington's 3rd down defense, very impressive this year. Only allowed 26% of their opponents' 3rd downs to be converted.
Looks like they're going to stay in man-to-man defense.
Over the middle and caught. It's 1st down to the 16, Dymere Miller. And this crowd becoming more active after a gain of a baker's dozen. Jordan Shaw, the stop.
So good by Miller to get in the vision of Cadillac Manis and watch him work his eyes, move a little in the pocket, and then throw a strike. And a nice job to slow down and catch that ball and not run past it and put it behind you.
Isn't it amazing what happens after you get that first completion?
Oh, yeah.
That first 19-yarder was a good seam pattern. Set them up in this drive. And now they're in the red zone. Play fake to Brown. They find the tight end Fletcher. And Kenny Fletcher, as we mentioned, a converted defensive player, has a strong body.
Yeah, they do a nice job of hiding him as kind of that H-back. Hide him in the backfield, and you have to try to chase through all the trash in the back end if you're Cameron, number 13 in white.
2nd down and 4. It's a short 4. Manungai back in the game. There you see the stemming. That's a Belichick replica of Dad. 3-snap stemming. Up the gut, Manungai. 1st and goal.
This offensive line is doing a nice job of getting in position and allowing Manungai to find his way to the end zone.
Going quick. It's Manungai, and he's stoned at the line of scrimmage this time. Well, as tough as they've been with 7 and 8 in the box, you got to figure this yard is hard to get. It was about at this time on the field last week against Virginia Tech that they decided to go with a backwards handoff. Durfee just left the game, number 5. Jacob Lane in for him for Washington. Manungai is the setback. They go out of the gun.
Cadillac Manis does a nice job of protecting the ball down here, and his legs could come into play.
There he is. Manan is the guy. Touchdown.
Once you get this kicked out, you're good to go. And Manungai, if he has one guy to beat for a yard, I'm taking him every single time. A nice job of driving his legs, delivering the blow as the offensive player, and getting in the end zone.
You may recall back in 2006 when Shiano first turned this thing at Rutgers, he had a small back that can really get lost in the line of scrimmage by the name of Ray Rice. Now, in Kyle Manungai, he has a similar talent. He's the best running back the country knows the least about. You know about him now on Friday Night Lights.
Fox College Football is sponsored by KFC. It's finger-licking good. Look at the excitement there. He cannot believe what he just saw. And we saw it live as well. The Red Panda is at it again. Unbelievable.
Amazing to think that Petros Papadakis is going to make it all the way back to the West Coast to call a game tomorrow after that. I had no idea Petros, our great Greek friend of USC fame, was there. He's got a big game with Boise State tomorrow night. It's an excellent matchup, actually. You want to stay tuned for that one. Keith Reynolds is going to take it on a fly from his 5. Ooh, almost snuck out of there to the 21-yard line, and let's go down to Josh Sims.
Well, Tim, we saw miscommunication with the Washington offense at the end of their last drive. Will Rogers coming off the field frustrated, but because of the new rules, he's able to go and look at the tablet. Well, Jed Fish, the head coach, sat down with him. They gave it a talk over, trying to figure out where they had the mix-up there, the benefits of this new rule. I'm sure, Devin, that's something you would have loved to have had when you were playing.
Josh, I'm just telling you, being able to see the mistakes, whose fault it actually was, to actually truly get it corrected, because without it, it's all just hearsay. Oh, well, I did this, and well, no, you didn't. Well, nobody knows because we can't watch it. Now you can watch it and truly get it fixed.
Coaches are really adjusting to it differently based on whether they were in the pros at one time or not. And look at this, Coleman, and it pops free. Absolutely huge hole, and he gets it all the way out past the 40 to the 39, and Longerbeam with the tackle, and he's down on the field, and if he's hurt, that is a brutal loss for Rutgers defensively.
Offensive line does a great job of getting to the second level, and when you get to the second level, there's not much left, and Coleman continues to show that there's not just one top running back on the field. A 39-yard run for him.
Let's hope that Longerbeam can get up. We had a chance to visit with him. He's a vital part of this Rutgers defense. Outstanding corner out of Alexandria, Virginia. Went in front of his home state last week to make a tip and a pick to preserve victory against Virginia Tech. We'll be back. Fox College Football is sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. Let's talk a little bit more about these cross-ups in the passing game.
Yeah, Denzel Boston is a guy who a week ago had 7 catches for 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. He hasn't caught a ball yet today. Pretty much everybody else who was a contributor has caught a ball today, and that's somebody they want to get going, right? They want to get him in the mix and make sure that he sees catches early so that he can be in this game when the game is on the line, because he's one of their best targets.
Well, this is the most we've seen DeMond Williams used. He's back in the game at a Wildcat again with Cameron Davis. And Davis pops it free off the left side and has the necessary yardage for a first down. DJ Jabome runs him down. That's an 11-yard pickup.
Take a look at what DeMond does to Igbinosun on the outside, number 4. He's coming in your screen right there. He has to freeze, and he's late to come in, and it allows number 22, the running back Cameron Davis, to pick up yardage. That's the help you get from a quarterback that comes in that has dynamic running ability, and he's already had a few nice runs.
The senior out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. And DeMond this time decides to keep it. Burrows ahead to about the 26-yard line. I wonder, to some extent, as you see Rogers coming back in, if this is affecting Will in any way, because he's been in and out now for a 3rd time in this game. As you mentioned, sometimes a starting quarterback, particularly early in a game, can't get into the rhythm that he'd like with his receivers. But DeMond certainly has been successful so far when he's been in the game. 2nd and 8, out pattern. It's caught, and right away Jeremiah Hunter is shoved out of bounds.
This is part of that West Coast style of offense, right? If you get free release, catch the ball, get the ball outside, a perfect throw by Will Rogers, set up a nice 3rd and short where you have the playbook open, and Will Rogers' legs can be a part of this.
Bo Masco, number 3, ushered him out. 3rd and manageable here for Rogers and company. Brennan Carroll. Son of Pete. Got a lot of sons of coaches out here. And as I mentioned, a lot of NFL pedigree.
Washington, this second of the half. It'll be a full charge.
Excellent chess match, really, when you think about it, on this Friday night. Intellectual property is high tonight. Team comparison sponsored by T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network. There you see the numbers for Coleman versus Monangai. But let me say this about Monangai. Those 25 yards have been well earned.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had to go against a lot, and he has gotten into the end zone. Cameron Davis is the setback. It's 3rd down and 2.
There's Denzel Boston.
Sprint out action. Pass is caught. It's Jackson. And Giles Jackson with a marker down in the backfield. So we'll have to check on it. Taken out shy of the 10-yard line. Thrown in an area where you'd suspect either holding or some maybe hands to the face mask. Let's see.
There's that West Coast staple, sprint right option.
Looks like it could be a face mask.
That hurts.
Yes, it does.
Personal foul, legal low block, offense, number 22.
Wow.
15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
A big break for Rutgers. Second huge offensive personal foul against Washington tonight.
So there are intricate rules for when you can block below the waist. When you're outside the tackle box, you are not allowed to block below the waist. And he does that outside the tackle box. It's a penalty every time. It's a rule that they changed a couple years ago. And that's a big loss for a Washington offense that was rolling and picked up the 1st down.
Well, they took themselves out of scoring position with a roughing penalty in their opening series, you might recall.
You got 0 coverage. They're going back to cover 2.
Rogers pass down the seam, and it's caught by Hunter. And the Scarlet Knights arrive in a really bad mood and in a hurry.
Again, a very nice job by this Rutgers defense of showing one thing, then getting to another just before the snap. They show 0 coverage. What do you want to do? Get to the middle, and then they drop to a 3-deep look, and everybody can see the ball completed, and they can come up and tackle and force a field goal.
All right, so they're going to try for 3 here. Gross from 43 yards. He's only missed 1 so far this year. Out of the hold of McAllister. Hooked it. This building is about to explode after that miss.
Let's take a look at the operation, the hold. It's there. It's there, and you got a big, tall hand coming up out of the middle of the defense. A very nice job, but that starts with defensive coordinator Joe Harasimiak making sure that he shows Will Rogers different pictures and gets the offense off the field.
A couple of good drives. You go back to the first one in the first quarter, right, where they inevitably had a 4th and 9 that they could not convert, so no points there. And after a 39-yard burst by Davis, they get nothing out of that. Offensive personal fouls have been a real problem in this game for them. Kenny Fletcher coming the other way with it out to the 30-yard line. Healthy gain for the converted defensive end. Elijah Jackson, 25, made the stop. He's a great special teams player, too, Jackson.
I mean, he came from the middle of the field screaming to make this play. He's still not even in your screen. Boom, there he goes right there. A very nice job of him starting as a middle safety and coming down to make a tackle on a talented tight end.
2nd down and 5. Brown, it's rough sledding when you're trying to run between the tackles. Javon Parker, 94. With the stop for the Huskies. So 3rd down, and again, a long 3. The line to make the 35-yard line.
It's cover 3, right? It's cover 3 lineup, but they look like they may go to man coverage, and they've got 7 guys in the box. I think you have to go to read option here.
Quick slant, nothing doing. Strong, Ian Strong with his first target, but Elijah Jackson had it well read and stopped him in his tracks a yard shy of the 1st down.
I mean, he is all over this slant route. He tries to be patient. They try to set up a screen, and he gets underneath. That is teach tape on how to play those pick plays. He avoids the offensive player and then gets his hands on the receiver, reach that right hand in, and he has Rutgers punting.
Jacob Anderson to punt it away. And that end over in punt fielded by Boston on the run. Saturday spread sponsored by Hellman's Real Mayonnaise. May your game day be delish. Minnesota and Michigan. Gus and Joel will be on hand for that one. As I mentioned, Kevin Kugler will be working with Brock Hewitt tomorrow. And congratulations to our colleague Jason Benetti, who's gotten his Tigers on the precipice of a second season.
Detroit.
Yeah, good for him. And the Oregon Ducks make the trip to the Rose Bowl. And our Connor Onion and Mark Helfrich will be on hand for that. And by the way, our sideline reporter, Josh Sims, is boarding a flight to go west, young man.
Yes, indeed.
To be in Pasadena for a little after dark action in the Big Ten. Coleman is stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Second down and 10. The Rutgers defense with Igbinosun. Desmond and Igbinosun with the stop against Washington, and he had a little bit of help from Aaron Lewis, number 71. Big, burly defensive end. Rogers with time. Quick curl. It's caught, and it's Jeremiah Hunter. His third catch of the evening. Stopped at the 31.
You can see both of these teams are very comfortable with their defensive backfield. They're playing that man-to-man coverage, and they're doing a nice job of it. You see some completions, but a defender is not far away, and they do a nice job at tackling after the catch. But now it's third and short, and they have to stay in that man defense, but make sure they stay close and watch out for those pick plays, those shallow crosses across the field.
Well, they're trying to convert their first third down of the evening. They're 0 for 3 so far. Timeout Rutgers.
Timeout Rutgers. They're first of the.
Time for us to check out what's coming up at halftime with Sarge Mike Hill in our studio in Los Angeles.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, 7th-ranked Miami looks to become the first 5-0 team in the nation. Can Coach Prime in Colorado come up with another miracle? And we'll ask who has the edge in tomorrow's Georgia-Alabama showdown. Tim and Devin, how do you do? Now back to you.
Oh, yeah. We're doing just great.
Wait, did you tell him he could do that?
Yeah,
okay,
I have no
just
pride.
making sure.
I have no pride of authorship.
Making sure.
Yeah, I'm not one of those.
No pride of authorship.
I'm not one of those prima donna play-by-play types.
Hey, so if I'm
a regular guy.
Wait, do I not have to ask anymore? Can I just bust it out at any time on the broadcast?
Oh goodness. The entire control room just fainted.
Yes.
After I said
because that was propaganda if they've ever heard it.
Coleman in the backfield. There's the out pattern. Really well read. How about that? Shaquan Loyal. He comes in there and makes a play. The senior from Newark, New Jersey.
I said it before. You have to be weary of those pick plays and watch the talented defender track the ball, not get picked, come over the top, and stop that ball from being completed. Because if it's caught, it's going to be a first down. A very nice job of not allowing a combat catch by Giles Jackson.
McAllister will punt it away. Dremel, number 80, back deep. He previously wore the number 6. Changed it this week. This one's going to hit the turf and get a healthy Washington roll. That low trajectory had a lot to do with that, and they get 50 yards out of it. Well, speaking of Jason Benetti and your Detroit Tigers, that was a thrilling finish to his game yesterday, I saw. Tomorrow, it's baseball night in America on Fox. San Francisco, Lindor and the Mets look to move a step closer to a wild card, battling with the Braves. They take on the Brewers. Carlos Correa and the Twins make their playoff push against the Orioles. It all begins tomorrow, 7 Eastern on Fox. Check for the game in your area.
Tim, you know what's so cool about my Detroit Tigers? They were just trying to, my Detroit Tigers.
Yeah,
they were just trying to, get better. They weren't really trying to compete. We're going to just clear the decks, get some young guys up, see what they can do. And here they are competing.
Indeed.
Great. It's great.
I think Benetti's probably been the difference, don't you?
100%.
from the 19. Monangai, look out! That's that quick, choppy, short step, and change of direction. That quick slide step. Man, very few can do this well.
Carson Bruner, number 42, is the free hitter. He's trying to find the ball. You can see in the middle of your screen. And a nice job of Monangai reading it, seeing where he is, sticking that foot in the ground, and getting down the field.
Well, that's big time. That would remind you of some of those Oklahoma backs back in the day, where they could change direction.
A little 1-2 at the top, and he is gone.
10 carries, 53 yards for him now. I think if you'd said prior to the game that Monangai could get, let's say 90-plus yards on the ground, that would be a huge win for Rutgers tonight.
Yeah.
The way Washington stacks the line against them. Bruner and Parker collaborate on that stop. Negligible gain, 2nd down and 8.
The one thing I would love to see from offensive coordinator Kirk Ciarrocca is a little more variety on first down, right? Give your talented quarterback, Ethan Kaliak-Manis, an opportunity to pass the ball on first down to continue to loosen up this Washington defense.
Well, he has faith in him.
Yeah.
He really does. Pressure coming. That pass may have been tipped, but it's caught. K.J. Duff, freshman sensation, 6'6", 219 from Riverhead, New York, and St. Anthony's. 15 yards and a first down.
Just a shallow cross across the field. A very nice job. But the play action is what makes this play. Because of the play action, the linebackers come up, and you see he's right behind them for an easy catch, just like we highlighted in the open.
Now, the ball wasn't tipped. That was a tight spiral, but it looked like there was a lot of pressure, and it may have gotten a hand on it. First down and 10. Ball just outside the 35 at the 36. Kaliak-Manis dropped a pass that could have gone a long way. The freshman K.J. Duff turned upfield. His eyes went towards the pylon, and he forgot to bring it in.
I know there's technology on the sideline. Maybe Kirk Ciarrocca is listening to the broadcast, because here's a first down pass, and Kaliak-Manis puts it on the money. Oh, you can't throw it any better than that. That is an outstanding throw by the quarterback, and a big drop by the young, true freshman, K.J. Duff. They're trying to get him more opportunities so he can become comfortable in the offense, because he has big play ability at 6'6", 219 pounds.
He may be the heir apparent as the go-to receiver in this program. Monangai shreds one tackle, but picks up an extra yard for 2, and the 2-minute timeout is coming up, with Rutgers in great field position yet again to come up with some points. SHI Stadium sold out for the first time since the Buckeyes came in here a year ago. And the only touchdown of the game belongs to Monangai. Yardage well earned tonight. Fox College Football is sponsored by Discover, the official credit card of the Big Ten Conference. Speaking of all-time greats, how about the McCourties, huh? About to head into the Hall of Fame with festivities coming up at halftime.
One of those guys has a top-tier name.
Yeah, there they are.
Oh, my goodness.
Making their run into television, too, and doing a
nice
wonderful job.
Yeah.
The McCourty twins.
Can you tell them apart?
I think so.
Ish?
Barely, yeah. 3rd and 8. Kaliak-Manis underneath, little tunnel screen. That's strong, and he is strong for the first down. Inside the 25 to the 23. That play looked remarkably similar to the one that helped put the game away at Virginia Tech last week.
I mean, he doesn't get the first down if he doesn't take flight. I believe I can fly. Nice job by Strong with a nice, strong run.
The left guard, Brian Felter, is down, the senior from Westfield, New Jersey. Part of that outstanding offensive front that Kirk Ciarrocca is so proud to have, and I think in a lot of ways is the foundation for the success that they've had this season.
Yeah.
And in their minds, with the schedule they have, one that could not finish the way it did a year ago when they lost those games in November leading into the bowl victory that they came away with.
And Coach Shiraka, when we talked to him, I asked him about the continuity because a lot of these guys have played together, right? He said they're playing as one this season, right? You know, they had opportunities last year to play together, but now they're really playing as one and hitting their stride and kind of mastering what they want to do up front. So this is a big loss in the interior of that offensive line. And an honorable mention, all Big Ten player in Brian Felter.
As we look at this, take a look at the bottom of your screen. Non-contact injury, it appears to be. Yep. The worst kind. How many times do you see that happen? Just a flat out, you worry about Achilles whenever you see that, because non-contact injuries usually are tough ones to take. We touched on the schedule, and listen, every game in the Big Ten is a tough take, but any schedule that is minus some team, the Nebraska game is coming up, and then they go to USC at Illinois, which we've seen them. We know how good they are. They'll be at Penn State tomorrow in a game that I think is highly interesting. But here's the reason why the optimism is there, and that is who's missing. Who's not on this schedule? No Buckeyes, no Wolverines, no Nittany Lions.
Yeah, the original Big Three in the Big Ten. Everybody knows those are the three that you kind of want to avoid, just because they are always so stacked talent-wise, and they're always good teams. And if you get a chance to not play them, that's a win.
And here's some good news. He's walking off with some assistance, but under some of his own power. So we'll hope for the best.
Uh-oh.
So the ball now rests at the 25-yard line where it's first down.
Somebody employing this Rutgers team to score on the sideline.
Yes.
And big number 76, Dante Chin, will be the replacement at that left guard position.
When you say big, that's an understatement. 6'4", 317.
Yes.
It could be Mananga time. He's the setback. 3 wides here.
Yeah, they got Washington only has 6 in the box right now.
Amir Miller is in the slot up at the top of your screen. Mananga, they check down to him. He's a good pass receiver, too. And that's one of the reasons why he hung around. He wanted to be a part of an offense where he could catch a few more passes. That's Jackson over there with him after a gain of 5. Well, you're seeing some of those first down passes that you asked of Kirk Shiraka towards the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, and it's forcing Washington to play with a lighter box, and a lighter box is conducive to success for this Rutgers offense. Like you talked about, Coach Schiano wants to run the football, but you can see they're stacking the box right now.
Same formation on 2nd and 5. That pass incomplete, airmailed with a lot of pressure coming up the gut. Chris Long was the intended receiver, but heavy-duty heat coming from the middle of the Washington defense.
Yeah, they're coming right at him right there down the pipe.
Delayed blitz by Bruner.
Yeah, and they do a nice job of dropping guys underneath. That's such a tough thing to recognize as a quarterback. When you see a guy blitzing and you want to replace him with the throw, but the defense has also replaced him with a guy that you thought would be coming into the backfield.
That's a classic Belichick style of D.
Switch.
Yeah, and Nick Saban used it to perfection when he came into the college game. 3rd and 5, and the pass is incomplete. Fans want interference. They're not going to get it. Amir Miller, the intended receiver. It was a dart. Dyson McCutcheon was right there with him, number 21. So now it's 4th down and field goal time.
The crowd may be on to something. It was a little close. you get McCutcheon with that hand on the back as he starts to go in with that opposite hand. Now, the one thing you will have to know is he doesn't turn the right receiver. So when you don't turn him, just having your hand on him is not going to draw a pass interference call. I like the no call by the referees.
It'll be a 38-yard try for Jay Patel. It's blocked. And it's recovered by the Huskies. So nothing doing that time. Great penetration. Lance Holtzclaw, the edge rusher, number 10, blocked it.
Yeah, a late flag that came out.
Yeah, and a late marker. The ball be set around the 35-yard line, so Washington's got some room to work with here and time to go with it here.
Yeah, you get to see that Will Rogers 75% completion percentage on full display.
That's a happy Lance Holtzclaw, sophomore from Desert Ridge, Arizona.
Yeah, he was
as
a
high
busy.
school player, actually from Dorchester, Mass.
What's it called?
During the play, illegal substitution on the
Oh,
on
wow.
the defense.
Wow.
Number 27 came onto the play during the live ball. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, which will give Rutgers a first down.
Wow.
Man, oh, man. How's that for a break? Jed Fish is in disbelief.
Wow, that is a big break. The crowd wanted pass interference. However, they got something else. You can see a bunch of guys running off the field. And is there going to be a substitution late coming on?
Yeah, the call was 27, came in late. That's Vincent Holmes, another freshman, redshirt freshman.
I don't know. They've got 11 right now. I don't see what the call was. Maybe they said 7 came on late, but it looks like he was on in plenty enough time. That might be a miss by the referees.
Well, I heard 27.
Yeah, there was no 27 on the field.
No. Fade pattern, it's caught, high pointed, in strong, touchdown.
This is what 6'3" gets you. A big, strong receiver and a target to jump up and snatch it. And when we were watching practice yesterday, remember, receivers coach, snatch the ball away. Yeah. Don't leave it for the defender to rake it out. You can see him go out, take it, and snatch it away.
That is a 10-point swing. You're thinking you might get 3. Then you're thinking, oh, we got to play defense for 36, and now you got another touchdown, and you lead this puppy by 11, potentially at the break.
That is a huge swing.
Oh, man, is it ever. I would not want to be the special teams coach at halftime either with Jed Fish. We're trying to identify this on the left-hand side right there. 27, that's the mistake that was made, and there's the flag that's coming down. The play, it's not a dead ball foul. The play was still underway.
Yeah.
So that was a huge mistake by the freshman.
A huge, monumental mistake.
And by the way, there's 3 of them now. 3 huge penalties in terms of roughing that stopped the drive, and another roughing penalty that cost them an opportunity at a touchdown. So,
and Tim, who gets the ball in the second half?
Yeah.
Right? You take points, you give points, and take points that you could have possibly gotten by driving down with Will Rogers, who we've seen is he's got his number, right? He's got this defensive number. He's doing a nice job, and that is tough.
Right, and Rutgers gets the ball. You're right. What an advantage. What an advantage for Washington.
Number 57 of the receiving team made a fair catch signal. The ball is dead. We're possessed. 1st and 10.
Boy, that might have been inadvertent. We're talking about some calls tonight that have been extraordinarily tight. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt that ball could have been returned. But you cannot put your arms upward, and if that's the call, they'll have to live with it. Gary McGinn, our referee, has been very active in this first half tonight. 30 seconds left. Let's see how they decide to play it. Washington. Remember, Rutgers did defer, to your point. They'll get the ball to open the second half.
The correct yard line should be the 22-yard line, not the 26.
Huskies probably are going to be getting a lot of shock treatment at halftime from their head coach. From a yardage standpoint, particularly in the first quarter, they dominated this game, but they really shot themselves in the foot offensively too many times. And they've decided to call it a day and head to the locker room for halftime. Listen to this crowd. They are excited. It's not as if they haven't been 4-0 in September before. They've been that way for a number of years. But the Jersey native is not real pleased with being in his home state right now as he heads in for halftime. Rutgers has the lead. A number of mistakes, particularly penalties, have been costly to Washington. The one at the end of the half, which was the difference in a blocked field goal and a touchdown, just devastating. How do they respond? And let's go down to Josh Sims. Josh?
Well, I caught up with Greg Schiano, and he told me, look, we are happy with the way we are playing right now, but we got to remember this is a very good Washington team. We can't be complacent. When I asked him what the message to the team was, he said chop. One of the mantras of this Rutgers team, it's for perseverance, persistence, and the light at the end of the tunnel. And the light at the end of the tunnel would be staying undefeated by the end of this night for Rutgers.
Tim. How quick of an easy of an answer? Chop. That's it. But it's so many layers to what it means, and Josh just illustrated it perfectly.
By the way, was that as enjoyable and as comfortable?
Oh my goodness!
A pregame meeting with a head coach.
Over an hour. I mean, such a great conversation.
He just sat down at the end of his desk and just talked.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun visiting with the 58-year-old head man. This is his second act at Rutgers. It's going pretty well. A lot of pressure coming, and that pass going to the tight end for maybe a yard, and that's it to Kanoka. They're going to rule it incomplete. It did hit the ground, so 2nd and 10.
Both these teams.
Thought he had scooped it up for a moment, but he didn't.
Both these teams to this point in the season have been consistent of not truly turning the ball over. And it continues tonight. 0 turnovers on both sides of the ball.
They did go scoreless in the first quarter, but they answered the bell in the second with 2 touchdowns. Manungai, look how he doesn't need much room. Well, he's now over 500 yards on the season. Led the Big Ten in rushing a year ago. That was a big secret, was it not, last year?
Washington comes out in a 2 high safety look. What do you do when it's 2 high safeties? You run the football, and it's a positive play for Manungai.
Wasn't even the best running back on his high school team, but his high school coach, Don Bosco, absolutely convinced Greg Schiano that he should take a look at him. And he's New Jersey's own and proud to be in his 5th year. Pressure coming, and not even a chip from a non-guy is going to be able to keep him off Kaliak Manis. Pressure from Tupatella. Alfonso, the green dot and team captain of that D.
Yeah, there he goes. Number 11 in white. I mean, it's tough. That's a talented linebacker. And Manungai does a nice job, but it's just not enough. A linebacker's going to get to the quarterback.
Jacob Anderson to punt it away. Denzel Boston in single safety. So that quick stop was huge, and we've got a marker down. Could be a false start.
False start. Offense, number 47. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Hey, Tim, an interesting thing there. That's the first sack for either team on the night.
That was Riggs, the guilty party. Number 47. We have another one? Looks like we may.
Yeah.
This game has been littered.
Effectively, the right guard is the one who jumped.
False start. Offense, number 11. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
It has been littered with the little yellow hanky much of the evening. So now it's 4th and 21.
Kind of weird, a right guard wearing number 11, but it's punt, so, you know.
It's the punt team.
Yeah.
Well, you're running out of real estate if you have another false start. Angling for the right side with the end-over-end punt. all things considered, pretty good. And let's go back down to Josh, who I know talked with Jed Fish.
Well, yeah, and it was a frustrating first half for Washington. Jed Fish told me we just need to be more disciplined, no more penalties. We got to clean up the miscommunication. We have a shot to score, but he said we got 30 more minutes, plenty of time to turn this thing around.
Josh Sims is going with some really good threads tonight, don't you think?
I mean, he's really bringing up the viewer value on the broadcast.
No question.
Every single week.
He's got primetime threads, we know that.
Oh, yeah.
Suitable for Friday night or any night.
So what Coach Fish is saying, it's not really truly what Rutgers is doing that's stopping Washington. It's the undisciplined play that stopped them.
He's right about that. Look out! Jonah Coleman. He may take it the distance. Shoestring tackle inside the 20. A saving tackle after 35 yards. And it's Tyreen Powell, who they're really happy to have back.
Gotta love the offensive lineman getting to the second level. And like we talked about in the first half, if you get to the second level, both these running backs are going to be able to hit big plays, and you can see one right there by Coleman.
First down 10, Washington trailing by 11 with an opportunity to cash in. Coleman bouncing it outside. Great change of direction there. Talked about Manungai's ability to plant that foot and have a quick burst. You saw it evidence there. Jabome, number 28 with a stop.
The one thing I wrote was great contact balance for Coleman. And you can see he's contacted, but he's got that low center of gravity, and he's able to continue with his balance and create another first down opportunity.
5'9", 229. Feed and fan him. Why not? And he's ahead to about the 3-yard line, where it will be second down and goal. Huskies lost a tough one to Wazoo in the Apple Cup. That game was played at a neutral site in Seattle where the Seahawks play. Mateer had a big game, but it was winnable. They went with an option play that many people were talking about in the aftermath of that game, including one radio talk show host who happens to be our colleague and analyst and former Washington Husky, Brock Ewart. Second and goal. Oh, great penetration that time. Coleman and the guy that delivered the blow, Shaquan Loyal, the senior from Newark, is slow getting up. Third down and goal.
Shaquan Loyal comes through and beats everybody to the punch. Very nice job there of coming underneath. Nobody blocks him, and when you're the only guy, you've got to get the big fella to the ground. It's a tough task, but Loyal was there to do it.
Jonah Coleman has all 4 of UW's rushing touchdowns, and he's the setback here. They go trips to the bottom of our screen. Pass is incomplete for Boston. Very tight coverage. There was some contact, but Longerbeam was right there with him, and they allow some of that jousting.
Like we talked about earlier, as long as you don't impede him, you don't get the flag thrown. A very nice job of getting underneath and stopping that ball from being completed by Longerbeam.
Well, the crowd will tell you everything here. Fourth down, goal from the 2.
I like this just because you need to show that you can get the ball in the end zone, and if you don't, you got 98 yards for Rutgers to drive down the field.
Only 1 of 5 this year, though, on 4th. Make it 1 of 6. Listen to this crowd.
Rutgers gets a big stop on the 2-yard line. And let's look at why. You have a banana route run, and it looks like you're going to have a touchdown for Giles Jackson, and it kind of just looks like Will Rogers misses it. And we know that he's an accurate passer, and that's not what happens, right? So you look at Tyreen Powell, who's back on his second start and he just nicks the ball, and it's an incomplete pass. That's the game of inches that we love, just by an inch, and he absolutely loves it. His story is amazing. They said that last week he came in, he just got his feet wet, and now he's really feeling himself, and you can see he makes a huge play with an open guy in the back end.
Yeah, violence is his mantra. They love that about him. He and Longerbeam are very close, the two captains defensively. They actually do a podcast together. You know, that's got to be very entertaining.
And Tim, you talked about Kyle Monangai being the running back, a great running back that nobody knows about. Tyrone Powell is one of those great linebackers that nobody knows about at 6'5", 252 pounds.
Kyle Monangai is the lone setback. They've got 3 wide receivers. Tight end is in the slot left. Monangai, look at him bouncing outside. That's special. He is special. That is some kind of Monangai.
Tim, I got a word for you. It's more of a phrase. How do you do? What an outstanding job by Kyle Monangai of just running through tacklers and getting down the field. Hey, I bet you the country knows about him now.
That may be the most plosives I've ever heard in a replay. 103 on the night for Monangai. You better wrap him up at the feet as quickly as you possibly can. Kaviculainen with that stop. Look at this.
I mean, just throwing guys. Get off of me, running through. Not quite the Beastquake, not quite, but it's getting there. This guy is talented, and he is pumped. He's a Jersey kid. He's playing for more than just himself tonight.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He had bigger goals. That's why he came back. 2 carries for 69 yards. The other 13 carries a combined 34. So, you know, just pound the rock.
Yeah.
And they figure at some point he's going to pop one.
You're going to see that box get heavy now with that big run.
Oh, look at that again. Just stop and dart, spin. He's got it all. You know, there are times, and I tell college football fans this constantly, he gets 4 yards there where most guys would have been stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Just because a guy plays at a school that's not a brand name in the sport of college football doesn't mean he does not deserve attention.
Oh, yeah.
This Rutgers program does not have many opportunities to have the eyeballs upon them like they do tonight.
Tim, relax. That's why we got Friday Night College Football.
Yeah.
On Fox.
That's true.
That's why we got it.
3rd and 6 out of the shotgun. Brown has come in from Monangai. Crossing pattern caught just shy of the first down yardage to Ian Strong. Well, they're into that category with 4th and about 1, maybe a half yard or so.
The way that Monangai's running the football, I love to see them run this football and get the first down or use Cadillac Manis's legs. But a nice job of Cadillac Manis just buying a little time, giving a little ground with that pressure up the middle, and then finding his target to set up an opportunity, and they're going to punt it away. The crowd hates it. I don't love it. But I understand it. I don't love it, though.
You have to know who you are.
You got a lot of momentum, man.
Shiano knows who they are.
Momentum.
No, I hear you.
There we go.
You get a little emotional for a quarterback.
I love it. This momentum is good.
They're 1 out of 5 on 4th downs, though, in this season. He knows that statistical data. And for him, the metrics say punt it, play defense, and field position.
Well, sometimes you just got to throw the statistics out of the window, Tim. I love it. Nice job by this running back.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands. Let's go down to the always agreeable Josh Sims.
Well, Devin, you touched on Tyrone Powell's story. This is a guy that had his season cut short due to a wrist injury last year, then suffered an Achilles injury during winter workouts. He missed the first 2 games of the season, returned against Virginia Tech, a place that recruited him, a place he thought he was going to go first play, tackle for loss. That's how you make a return last week.
Love it.
Yeah, he redirected that ball ever so slightly on 4th down. So here are the Huskies on their back patio at the 5-yard line. Pump fake. And Rogers' pass is caught. It's the tight end Decker DeGraff, number 86. Young man, 6'3", 240-pounder, freshman from Lindora High School, 21 yards on that pickup. No Quentin Moore tonight, so it's Latu, DeGraff, and possibly some Owen Coots before the night is done.
How about the trust that Jed Fish has in his offensive line? That's a slow developing play, and we've got Damon Williams, number 2 in white, back in at quarterback.
This is the third time in a series they've turned to him. And the handoff is to Cameron Davis, who burrows ahead. Stopped by Kai Sanders, number 5, after a gain of 6.
When your running back's getting touched 3 yards down the field, that's good football, and that's why they're bringing Damon Williams in the game, because he adds an extra gap, and those defensive players have to stay honest. They can't just fly in to stop the run because of his threat of getting on the edge.
2nd and 4. They go 12 personnel. Go with power, and Cameron Davis was a couple of yards shy. That was a heck of a hit by Desmond Igbonason. He made a big-time star hit by the star player in that secondary. 3rd down and 2.
And they leave Damon Williams in the game. I like it. They've had success, and the read option is an option.
And it works to perfection to double deuce Cameron Davis, who gets some yards after contact and is foot stomping his way ahead to midfield.
Take a look here. Linebackers kind of blocking themselves, moving out of the way and setting up what I like to call winner blocks, opportunities for offensive linemen to get to the second level and block them, and you allow your running back, number 22, Cameron Davis, to get through and pick up that first down.
They mark it at the 49, first down. Adam Mohammed, the freshman from Glendale, Arizona, checks in. Giles Jackson in motion. Look out, he may be the check down guy. Damond is gonna, finally just take it out of bounds. How about the stemming of that play, sideline to sideline by big Aaron Lewis. All 6'5", 266 of him from Williamstown, New Jersey.
This is teach tape on how to play it. You're not gonna run right at him. You run down the line of scrimmage, just string it out all the way out of bounds. A nice job by the back end of covering. There was nowhere to go with the ball, and a nice job by the young quarterback not forcing it. The one thing I would say as a coaching point, throw it away, right? Throw it away and just save 1 yard.
Will Rogers checks back in on 2nd and 10. Muhammad is the setback. Little curl out to Boston. Denzel Boston breaks free and is going to score. Touchdown Huskies. 51 yards. Why, that was a great piece of offensive coaching and play calling by Fish and his coordinator, Brennan Carroll.
And an even better job by Denzel Boston. He comes and then he hooks up. It's shallow cross, but he comes, he sees it zone, he hooks up right over the ball, and it's a perfect pass, and he gets outside, and the rest is all him, legs to the end zone. What an outstanding job. So many times you see a quarterback and a wide receiver not on the same page. Shallow cross, if it's man, you keep running. If it's zone, you slow down and sit in the hole. He does it perfectly. That's teach tape on what you're supposed to do.
6th touchdown for Boston. And Rogers with his 9th in the year. And the Huskies, who have been living in the red zone and not accomplishing much tonight, have been inside the Rutgers 40 a couple of more times, finally use an explosive play on a quick, short route. And a lot of yards after contact. Fox College Football is sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good.
There you go.
Now that's the lesson on how to read a billboard.
You like that?
Put some emphasis on the licking.
Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Learned that from my father many, many years ago.
How about that last drive? 72 yards.
Yeah, and by the way, they took advantage of stealing momentum away, as you mentioned, when Rutgers chose to punt it on 4th and a yard.
And Will Rogers, he's got to get a hold of himself there, because that is dangerous work. Look how he's looking at him. Look at how his receiver, Denzel Boston, is looking at him, and then Shiano wants to talk to his leaders, man. He's got a young player to his right, a veteran player to his left, and he wants them to play inspired and not let that take away from all the good they've done today.
One of the reasons he's so successful here is his kind of tough love works at a place like this. Players here want to be coached hard and loved hard. That's the way he likes to do it. Kaliakmanis with all kinds of time, and that pass is thrown behind the intended receiver. He'd love to have that one back. Ian Strong, pretty good target. That one just got away from him a bit.
Take a look.
Yeah,
the linebacker getting underneath it is because he can't throw it to the sideline because of the job number 11, Alfonso Tuputala does of getting under that throw.
11 of 19 for 96 yards for Kaliakmanis. When he's missed tonight, he's missed behind the receivers. Ball is tipped into the air. Very dangerous. I mean, that ball, if it had hung up there just a little bit longer, Bruner got a hand on that one, and if it had stayed up in the air going end over end for another second or so, it might have been a pick six.
He got two hands on it.
Oh, yeah.
Bruner did an outstanding job there, and he is hurting because he is going to the end zone if he pulls that down.
Yeah, Thaddeus Dixon, the corner, number 9, had a beat on it as well. 3rd down and 10. They got by with a few 3rd and longs early in this game, but so far it's been nada here in the second half.
4 of 9 on 3rd down today. They got man-to-man defense with pressure coming.
Checks it down underneath, and a slip by Kenny Fletcher, the tight end. He was about to make the cut, and when he did, feet came out from underneath him. Dyson McCutcheon was over there at number 21, the nickelbacker, and it'll be another punt formation here for the Scarlet Knights.
That's a good job by that defense of Washington. They show pressure, they drop 7 and only bring 4, and you got eyes on the completion, right? So once that ball's completed before the sticks, you can run up, rally, and tackle. A very nice job, and they get another opportunity here as this ball's getting punted away.
Anderson has not had one of his best nights, but he does have a boomer in him, and this one is pretty good. High, end over end, and a fair catch made by Boston. 42 yards. We're in beautiful New Jersey on a wonderful Friday night. Fox College Football, sponsored by Coca-Cola. Order your saucy nut, small fries, and a Coke Zero Sugar for only $5. Get it today with free delivery in the Wendy's app. That's from the Pinstripe Bowl, a good way to close out the season a year ago, knocking off Miami. They're in
on the last drive, Denzel Boston obviously had that 51-yard touchdown. Get this, that was his first catch on 3 targets for the night. So expect him to get more opportunities. Like I talked about, he's a guy that when you get him involved, he can be very explosive. How about that average? 51 yards a catch. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, they need more of him. 54,079 our attendance. Second most ever in stadium history. Most was Penn State in 2022.
Safe to say they're excited about their team.
Well, they kind of caught on to this Friday night thing. It's sort of taken college football by storm. That's Coleman running into Igbenogson. A gain of 3. We got a marker down.
Looks like a hold on number 74. I might be wrong, but as a party, looks like he grabbed Powell as he came in early to make that play. He kind of reaches his hand out, just pulls him to the ground.
Yeah, hard to miss it. Hard to miss it when you're that tall.
Oh yeah, he's a big dude.
6'7", 315.
Jinx.
Into the play. Personal foul. Offense, number 74. Half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
Interesting. It's a personal foul rather than a hold. Huh? Interested to see what happened here.
Yeah. Well, they have really called a lot of personal fouls tonight, and there have been a number of them called against Washington. There it is, the pile late. That's what they're calling it for.
You shouldn't do it.
And frankly, I thought there was a hole before that.
It's definitely a hole before, and also you hurt your own teammate.
Yeah.
Your running back's at the bottom of that pile.
I mean, 3 offensive personal fouls. I mean, that'll catch up with you. It's hard to win, even though you're in this game now with that many of them.
But that's what's happened throughout this game for Washington.
It has. Underneath, crossing pattern. They go to the tight end, Kaleki Latu, also at 6'7", senior out of Sacramento, California. Boy, that's a very active Tyrene Powell, isn't it? That guy is something special. He and Longerbeam together, his podcast mate. Pretty entertaining, too, by the way. One of the most professional you'll ever hear. They're on their feet on 3rd and 14. Rogers checks it down, goes to Jackson. Giles Jackson ahead to the 32-yard line. Still 3 yards, maybe 4 shy of the first down after an 11-yard gain. And the Huskies will have to get rid of it. Schiano talks a lot about winning in the margins. And tonight, the margin in some respect has been his team been opportunistic and winning down in distance situations.
And that makes them 1 of 7 on the night on 3rd down for Washington.
That's winning in the margins.
Yeah, this defense has played inspired, and you saw Coach Schiano on the sideline imploring his defense to play that way.
Well, Dremel is on his heels and called for a fair catch wisely. Sunday, we've got a huge day of football on Fox. At 1 Eastern, Jalen Hurts leads the Eagles against Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. Or at 4, the Patriots take on Brock Purdy and the Niners. Check for the game in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Well, you see the tackle Azzopardi trying to shake off that penalty that cost his team an opportunity to keep that drive alive. Monungai is in the backfield. And they have not been able to harness him entirely tonight, the Huskies. I thought they could win only if they got 90 yards at least, and he's well past that. He may be on his way to 150 before the night is over. That's 7 right there. Fabiki Lannon, number 13, with the stop. That's 114 total for him after that run. And it's Fabiki Lannon, number 13, that's not gotten up.
Officials time. Injured player on the defense, number 13.
Tim, that would be a big loss because he's the guy that comes down extra into the box to create that 7-man or 8-man box to stop this run attack.
Team captain, too.
Oh, that is going to be a big loss if he can't continue.
Yep.
On that play, he came down into the box, adding in, right, taking on blockers.
Holding his hand. That's what they're looking at, so hopefully it's nothing too terribly serious. Check the right-hand side of your screen.
There he is coming into the screen. You see how he makes that extra gap, right? He takes that extra gap, and he's in position to make the play.
Probably just fell.
Think about it. If he's not there, that's a bigger run.
Yeah. You know what they're thinking? Fit him for a cast and get him back out there. get him back out there as quickly as you can. 2nd and 3. Monungai absorbs one big hit, then tries to spin out of it. Vincent Holmes, the young man, you know he wants to atone for the mistake he made on that blocked field goal when he ran out onto the field and cost his team with a penalty that allowed them to get the touchdown pass the very next play. Quick out. Amir Miller with the reception right to the 25-yard line, and that's going to move the sticks. Well done. This crowd firmly behind their team tonight. They've been anticipating this game all week long. This campus has been a buzz since you and I got here.
Like you talked about, Vincent Holmes is the offender that turn a blocked field goal into points for Rutgers before the half, and he's the guy that's replacing talented number 13 who's on the sideline. So this is a matchup to watch. The extra guy in the box is a freshman that's already made a mistake in this game.
We've played through 3. Guess what? It's in doubt. And it's Friday night. And the viewing habits around the country have seen the paradigm change in college football.
Oh, yeah.
Friday night is a pretty good thing, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Good news. 13's back out there. 14-10. You see the score by quarter. Let's go down to Josh Sims.
Well, yeah, Cameron Kaficulainen came off, got that left wrist taped. He got that left thumb taped and came back into the game, guys.
It is important that Cameron Kaficulainen is back out there. Senior from Camarillo, California. They need him. And he's showing blitz here. Could back off, though. And he does. Peels back. Handoff. Manungai. You just think, is there anything there? Yeah, 6 yards for him.
Right.
For him.
And once again, a very nice job by offensive coordinator Kirk Ciarrocca of recognizing too high and getting to the run game. 19
carries, 120 yards tonight.
And he's been a bell cow, right? Because it didn't seem like it was going to be that way at the beginning of the game.
No, and I thought your pregame analysis was spot on, that they were going to force Kaliakmanis to throw it. But to this point, Manungai's just been too good to stop.
Yeah, and he's hit some passes early, and it allows for that defense to loosen up, but they go back to that heavy box on this play.
2nd down and 4. Boy, he was wrapped up in a hurry this time. I think they may have gotten a face mask, though. Javon Parker, 94, went a little too high. And I think in doing so, got some of the mask. We'll see. That's where the flag was thrown.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 94, 15-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage, automatic.
Well, I mean, he is pretty tall. I mean, he's 6'3", 297 against Manungai's 5'9", and I think that's being generous.
That's such a tough play.
It is.
And I don't even think he grabs it. I think he gets near the face mask and kind of grasp the chin strap.
But typical of the tight officiating we've seen on the field.
100%. His helmet goes, and it looks like he grabs it.
Right.
I don't think he did, and that's a tough call because he does exactly what you want him to do, and he reaches, and he's clawing, and he's scratching, and he's fighting, but he gets the penalty.
I mean, that was a loss of 4.
Wow.
And it turns into a 1st down with great field position. Oh, boy, that was a drop by the tight end Fletcher that might have gone somewhere. And it'll be 2nd and 10. And by the way, social media goes nuts when it's a tight officiating game and the team that's behind.
Yeah.
But you just have to adjust to those items during the course of a game.
I think you do. And usually when you have a drop like this, it's because you turn your eyes upfield. But I don't think he does. He just kind of misplaces his hands. And in that position, you want to have your hands over the top. You don't want to have your hands under because it does lead to drops there.
Chris Long, number 3, is the injured Scarlet Knight. And with that break, we'll go with them. 14-10 Rutgers, plenty of time remaining. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. The end of the 3rd quarter, the drone light show on in honor of the great Eric LeGrand, who is a constant on the Rutgers radio network. Outstanding player and a guy that did so much for this program. He knows when the camera's on. You know, he actually spent an entire afternoon in the studio with Spencer and myself back in my days at CBS, and he was outstanding. He keeps up with the entire sport. I mean, he loves it and is tremendous on the air. Has his own coffee, by the way, Devin. He's got his own coffee that's out there.
2 high safeties. They walk down into the box.
2nd down and 10. That's a good pass. Great hands for Ian Strong. The sophomore just corralled it, snared it, and brought it down very quickly. As you mentioned, the receivers coach quickly told him, right?
I just love what Coach Kirk Ciarrocca is doing on offense. He kind of has a beat on what Coach Belichick is doing with his 2 high safety look. He shows 2 high safeties, then he walks his guy down the box, and Coach Ciarrocca has the perfect call called RPO where you could throw the ball outside versus retreat coverage.
3rd down, a yard to go. How much does it help to have a guy like that when you need a yard? I mean, really, how much of a difference does that make? You need one, he gets you 2.
This Rutgers offensive line has done a good job of getting to the second level and getting movement, but on that play, they didn't. That was a lot of Monungai just powering his way through to get the first down.
You see the rushing yards, and Washington's got more of them. They've had some explosive plays, too, and both of their backs. I mean, both Coleman and Davis have had some big runs, but they've not been able to cash in the red zone as often, and it was that explosive 51-yard aerial that got them this close to be at 14-10. First down from the 43. Samuel Brown, who also runs tough inside. He gets to the 40. Carson Bruner, the tackle. You know, this is a defense that's been pretty stout for Steve Belichick. Tonight, when they've needed it, they've come up with some big plays. Bruner looks to be a little bit shaken up after that last tackle, but he's still out there. 2nd and 7. Only 247 yards total for Rutgers, but they've gotten plenty out of it. Brown just trying to move that pile inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. And that clock goes tick, 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 tick. Limit the possessions. Shorten the game as best you can. And we've got an injured Husky. We've got players shaken up tonight, too. Along with the flags and the reviews, we've had plenty of. It's been a tough game. These are very physical football teams, and the rain has reappeared.
Yeah, it feels like it's on and off, right?
All night.
You got to kind of try to catch it and get some pass plays in before it starts to rain a little heavier.
You know, while this game has been sold out, there are a few empties in the upper deck, and I think probably the rain had a little something to do with that. But for the most part, these fans have been steadfast, hanging in there throughout the course of the night. They know how important this game is for both teams.
See, right in the middle, he's stepping. I don't see anything really clear. He is right in the middle of the play of what's happening. It's Javon Parker, whose twin brother is on the team as well. That's a big guy you're trying to help up, man. My goodness. How strong is that trainer? Right? He only used one hand.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a lot of up downs that the trainer's done through the years.
Yeah. It's good to see him kind of on his own power trying to walk it off, but it looks like he's going to need help.
Yeah. And he's in some pain, too.
Yeah.
So the circumstances remain a huge play. This is an opportunity here at 3rd and 4 for the chains to move and the opportunity to hold on to the football. This is an important stop opportunity for UW. When you think about where college football is, and you've got 46 new guys in the aftermath of a team that made it all the way to the national championship game a season ago, a coach who got a rare opportunity at a phone call for a head coaching job at a place that had just played for a national championship after all the bowl games was over. Jed Fish just had to take it. Left an Arizona program in great shape. Samuel Brown is the setback. It's 3rd and 4. Timeout.
Washington, the first of the half. It'll be a 30-second charge.
They have plenty of timeouts to use, but it's strange to have one called after an injury timeout.
Will be extended.
Fox College Football is sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. Well, families affected by Hurricane Helene urgently need your support Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. Donate today to Hurricane Helene by going to redcross.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. And speak for all of those that live in the Gulf Coast region. They've faced this time and time again, but what happened in that particular area of Florida has never happened before. Those in the Tallahassee region, and it's of course gone north, hovering around Atlanta all day and night tonight. Floods all the way up through North Carolina, even to Boone, North Carolina. The Appalachian State game was called off because of flooding, and that's the mountainous region of North Carolina. So thoughts and prayers with all of them tonight. 3rd and 4 now. Samuel Brown, the setback.
Rutgers is right at 50% third down conversions.
Brown pops free, keeps going, look out, Brown, touchdown.
To have a run like this, you have to get it started. Look at big number 72, Holland Pierce, control his guy, and then the contact balance of number 27 in black, Samuel Brown, the 5th for a touchdown.
The junior from Philadelphia. He had 7 yards on the previous 4 carries, 37 that time, and a touchdown. It's a big night. Rutgers is going to be potentially undefeated. And he did a little Lido shuffle, courtesy Boz, into the end zone. Fox College Football is sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Devin, Holland Pierce was a walk-on that was discovered in the parking lot here at the facility during the COVID year. He walked on to this team, and boy, what a job here.
He's not a walk-on anymore. Take a look at him move his defender off the ball, and when you're 6'8", 344 pounds, it's going to be hard to not be moved by him. I absolutely love his story, I love how he was able to get that play started. And as we talked about, the rest was on Samuel Brown, the 5th.
When Holland Pierce arrived in that parking lot, he weighed almost 400 pounds.
Yep.
He lost an incredible amount of weight, maintained his strength, and has turned himself into a big-time talent. Excellent, excellent tackle on special teams there of Keith Reynolds. Huge day of football tomorrow. My goodness, what a big noon we've got. Minnesota heads to the Big House, take on Michigan. At 3:30, Coach Prime's Buffaloes, fresh off that incredible play by Hunter as well as Shedeur Sanders' throw, take on UCF under the lights at 11. Dylan Gabriel leads Oregon against UCLA. It all kicks off with Big Noon tomorrow, Saturday on Fox. Denzel Boston, who had that big reception, gets it out to the 18-yard line. Pickup of 6, 2nd and 4. 28-yard line, I should mention. After the gain of 6. Slant, caught. Boy, that had a chance to bust. Jeremiah Hunter comes up with the reception. Not a lot of help back there had he been able to spring free. I say this about the Rutgers secondary. They're sure tackling back there. Not unexpected, too, when you think about the history of Greg Schiano coach teams. Trouble. Rogers pass. Oh, that's a thing of beauty. He stuck to it that time, didn't he? Gets it out to Denzel Boston for a first down. Jabome right there with him. Look at this, how he escapes this.
That's as good as it gets, and keep your eyes downfield and make a throw. What a nice job by Will Rogers, unshaken with all the pressure he was under by number 28, DJ Jabome.
It's not often that he misses like that.
Yeah.
Jonah Coleman is now the setback. Boston comes flanked to the bottom of your screen. And this one pops free for Jonah Coleman. He's picking them up and putting them down inside the 25 to the 24. Gain of 14. Eric Rogers hauls him down, the senior from Burlington, New Jersey.
I love how Washington has picked up their tempo as Coleman asks for a blow and comes off the field. But they picked up their tempo and moved just a little bit faster. Now you're seeing they're getting into the red zone. They're going to huddle a little bit to get the right plays called. But that tempo has really helped them on this drive.
Jonah, a very quiet when you think about it. 148 yards,
I know, right?
8.9 yard per average. That's a season high for him. They just have not cashed in as often in the red zone. Ball's on the ground. Mix up on the snap. Cameron Davis, 22, gets right on top of it. Went right through his legs, that snap.
And issues have been
right there.
Oh, no, that's a good snap. That's a good snap. That's on the quarterback, Will Rogers. And they've had these issues with snaps, whether it be under center or shotgun, sometimes on the center, sometimes on the quarterback. And it's something they just have to get figured out. Remember, Will Rogers comes from an air raid system where they're always in shotgun.
Exactly. What we talked about in the open of the game, his transformation, how quick it's been given where and what kind of offense he had been in before coming to Seattle. Over the middle, it is tipped in the air, incomplete. Boston, the intended receiver. A lot of contact right on time defensively by Flip Dixon, number 10.
That is well timed by Flip Dixon. Just a hair early, but he doesn't make contact that moves him, right?
Great play.
It's a great play because it's too much of a bang-bang play for a referee to see that is pass interference. Is he a hair early? Yes. Yep. But in live action, it looks like he's there at the exact same time of the ball, and I love the no call.
Folks in Seattle probably don't.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
1 of 7 on third downs. Here's another one. 3rd and 14. Over the middle to Giles Jackson. Look at that short tackling again in space by the second level. And Bo Masco, number 3, the cornerback, makes the play. And they all tackle well in that secondary.
That's Bo Masco, the true sophomore nickel that comes in those nickel packages. And like you said, being able to tackle in space. When we talked to Coach Shiano, he remembered Giles Jackson playing for Michigan and running up his sideline, running for a touchdown on a kickoff return. So that's an explosive player that he gets to the ground in a one-on-one situation.
Brady Gross missed one earlier, hooked it. Tendency sometimes is to push it after that. He'll try this one from 38. He hooked it again. And the upright, unkind.
Let's see the operation yet again. The snap is perfect. The hole laces out. I mean, there's nothing bad there except that he pushes it wide left.
I thought it had grazed the upright. It did not. Missed by a smidge. And the look on the face of Jed Fish says it all. He knew it right away. He knew it right away. 2 big misses. Think of the points that have been left on the field by Washington tonight.
A ton.
7 and change remaining, and they desperately need the ball back. They were trying to get to within 1 score, and now they still trail by 2.
How about these numbers? Washington, 422 total yards. Rutgers, only 287.
Yep.
But the score is 21-10 Rutgers.
You got to win in the margins.
Got to win in the margins.
Says Greg Schiano. Anungai, they just like to run the clock out if they can. Continue to hand it off to him and to Samuel Brown. Here are those missed opportunities.
4th down in the beginning of the game. A nice job by the defense, and then just a missed kick. Good operation. Just a missed kick, and then you get the block before halftime. Everybody's celebrating, including the freshman running on the field and causing a penalty. And then Rutgers scores a touchdown, and then an open receiver and a nice play by Tyrene Powell of tipping the ball before it gets to the end zone. A lot of opportunities left on the field, and what we didn't have in that pack are the penalties. So many different penalties, whether it be during the play, after the play, that have really hurt Washington today.
That's Cameron Broussard that's injured, number 8. Senior from Folsom, California. Spent the last 4 years at Sacramento State before transferring over. All Big Sky in 2023. Great pickup for this team that's filled with a lot of transfers and, of course, people out of the portal. that joined Jed Fish when he came in to replace Kalen DeBoer. This is an absolute must-stop situation for the Washington defense. They have got to get the ball back in a hurry because they've got to score twice.
And we talked about discipline, and it's needed. Washington, 6 penalties, 69 yards, and Rutgers only 3 for 21 yards, right? So the more disciplined team, even though the yardage disparity we talked about is huge, the more disciplined team is winning the football game right now.
Schiano really got this thing going, as we mentioned, in 2006 and 7. He really wanted to be in the Big Ten, was actually politicking for it as early as 2002. And then when he got word that Nebraska was going in instead of them, he decided to, there's no more path for me in the Big East. Of course, that league is now basketball only, and it later became the American. And there goes Manangai again. And that's going to be 4 yards shy of a first down, pick up of 3.
So
3rd and 3, they picked up 4, I should say. Line to make is the 30.
For people at home, they are in full-blown 4-minute offense. And, you look at the clock and it's 5:57 and counting. However, 4-minute offense is a time where you want to hand the ball off. You want to keep that clock rolling, force Washington to use their timeout. So picking up this first down is very critical to continue to try to ice this game away.
This is a very hard team to come from behind against Rutgers when they get up by a couple of scores because of their ball control capability. And that's what they hope for here on 3rd and 3. Manangai, I think he may, they're going to mark him about a half yard shy. He's short by about a yard, more like a yard. So it'll be 4th down, and they'll have to punt it away.
And as much as, remember, I wanted them to go for it on 4th and short earlier. I don't want them to now. I want them to punt this ball away because they played really good defense, and it would not be smart to go for it here. And Schiano has done a really good job of continuing to coach his guys, making sure when bad plays have happened where Washington has had success, he hasn't panicked, right? He's got to his leaders, his young guys, and made sure that they stayed engaged, and that's why they're in the position they are in now to punt this ball away and play defense.
Washington should get great field position, though. Anderson will punt it from about his 15. Angles it, has Boston on his heels, and that's a fair catch. That's a whale of a punt right when they needed it. 46 yards and no opportunity to return it. They would have loved to have had the football around the 30-35. Instead, they're backed up inside their own 25-yard line. So they got to score. They got to score quickly. And remember, they used a timeout earlier, so they've only got the 2 left, but they do have the 2-minute timeout that's automatic. Now, Joe Harasimiak's got to be pleased with the way his defense has played tonight. Really enjoyed talking to this young defensive coordinator. Rogers, quick curl to the tight end, Kaleki-Latu.
For Rutgers, you have to continue to play sound defense, and if you're in the back end, nobody gets behind you. Remember, this game isn't over. Washington has explosive players. Number 12, Denzel Boston. Number 5, Giles Jackson. Number 1, Jonah Coleman, the running back.
He's had a big night tonight. He's post 150 yards already on the ground. Cameron Davis has had his moments as well.
Yes, he has. You're going to see an up-tempo pace for Washington as they try to get this ball down the field. They're in 2-minute mode.
And also as a quarterback, and you can speak to this, when you know you got 4 downs each series, that really opens the playbook and really your mentality.
And that's when it's scary for an offense like this that is clearly very explosive. We talked about the yardage. At the point we talked about it, 422 yards of total offense. They just haven't been able to finish in the red zone.
Lots of options. That's balls tipped and almost intercepted. Wow. It was Tyrene Powell that deflected it. Boy, his penetration's been incredible. And then the opportunity potentially for an interception.
I mean,
he's
picking the perfect night to have kind of his coming out party. Obviously made some big plays against Virginia Tech a week ago.
And that's Ray that had the chance the nose tackle that had a chance at the interception.
Yeah. Powell has been everywhere. He's been in the way and kind of making plays all over the field. And not a whole bunch going to go on the stat sheet, but he's done exactly what he came to do tonight.
2nd and 10. Rodgers. Pressure had a lot to do with that incompletion. Giles Jackson, the intended receiver. Aaron Lewis, 71, has been a thorn in the side with defensive pressures. Watch him, number 71. He hurried that pass as a result.
What was one of the keys to the game? Get to Rodgers, hit him early and often, and though you may not get the sack numbers, the effect, right, being in the way, just touching him, quarterbacks do not like that, and they've been effective today.
Rashid Williams, a burner, has gone flank to the top of your screen. That's Jackson. He's got it to the 45, up to the 46, 2 yards shy of the first down. So it'll be 4th down and 2. Game's on the line right here.
Yes, it is.
They'll begin a coronation in this building, SHI Stadium, if they get a stop right here. Going deep. Caught. Great reception by Denzel Boston. Sort of tipped it to himself.
What a courageous throw by Will Rodgers. 4th and 1, and you go down the field to the aforementioned Denzel Boston for a 29-yard gain.
They go empty with 5 wides. Rodgers, little underneath pattern to Rashid Williams, the freshman from Brentwood, California. He's got a lot of speed. Get 9 there. It's 2nd and 1.
And for Washington, this is what we've seen all day. The ability to move the ball down the field, but they have to cash in when they get in the red zone.
Yeah, and they need to score quickly here. Coming up on that 2-minute timeout. That pass incomplete. Little high and wide and behind Denzel Boston.
That 2-minute timeout is so important because they used that timeout earlier, but you kind of get your 3rd one with that 2-minute timeout. As you can see, this ball up, and he kind of tripped before he jumped, and you don't see him not catch those.
That's true.
He drops it there. It's a little rainy, a little wet outside.
Upon further review, it should have been caught.
Oh, yeah, but you definitely want to try to get in the end zone before the 2-minute timeout.
Wow, what hits. What hits. Davis gets hammered at the point of attack. And Desmond Benison has been outstanding tonight, the senior from Union, New Jersey. Clock keeps ticking. It's 4th and inches, and you're right. They want to get this play in perhaps before the 2-minute timeout. But you don't want to waste it either.
They've got to hike the ball before the 2-minute timeout.
They did not.
Oh.
That's poor clock management there. That is a break for Rutgers. They would have loved to have gotten that playoff sooner. Rutgers sweating it out in the mighty Big Ten, trying to stay undefeated and possibly crack the top 25.
Hey, we're inside our LA studios. Mike Hill along with the coach, Chris Peterson. Hey, don't forget tomorrow on Fox, we got 12th ranked Michigan hosting Minnesota. Coach, can the Wolverines be able to ride the momentum from last week's big come-from-behind win against USC, where they only threw for 32 passing yards?
It's wild, isn't it? I do. I think they can. I think this was a really momentum builder for Michigan. I was impressed. Obviously, how they ran the ball. When I go back and watch that game, the formations, the creativity, they really did a heck of a job doing that. And really, that 4th quarter drive at the end of the game to put it away was super, super impressive. I will say this. I think they're going to have to do more in the pass game if they want to make a playoff run and certainly do anything inside the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll see if Alex Orji can do something at the quarterback position. He has not thrown a completion over 10 yards in his career. He's only thrown the ball 19 times. They've won 26 straight against Big Ten opponents. We'll be with you all day tomorrow for a full slate of college football action right here on Fox.
Pacific Life Game Summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 160 years. Boy, what a performance by Jonah Coleman tonight. 148 yards, a season high for him. Kyle Monangai, 131 against a defense that knew he was going to get it a lot. and they stacked the box, and it wasn't stacked enough. And Samuel Brown put on a show with the last touchdown run that warrants clearly more playing time for him.
One of my keys to the game for Washington was you got to take Monangai away. They haven't done a good job of it. And Josh talked about it earlier. Coleman wanted to come in and prove that he was the same caliber back as Monangai, and I think he's proven to the entire country.
Yeah. Unfortunately for him, he didn't get a lot of help. 4th and inches. Not getting that play off before the 2-minute timeout was devastating. They will get the first down, but look at that time that they've left. And it's still ticking away from them.
They're going to get a stoppage just for the change to move, and then the clock is going to restart.
Frustrating night for Brennan Carroll and for Jedd Fisch. Fade pattern, open. It's Boston. It's touchdown. Boy, they could have used that about 30 seconds ago. Would have had the extra timeout. Now they only have the 2 remaining.
That's a big mistake by the cornerback of not recognizing the situation. You don't go for the first move. Robert Longerbeam, a veteran who is mad at himself because he knows he bit on something that he shouldn't have bit on. He should play the sticks, play the end zone, and allow that move to be made and then compete at the catch point. He bites, and a nice catch by number 12, Denzel Boston.
Got to go for 2 with the hopes they can get it back onsides and get a field goal to tie it. Cameron Davis, the setback. Wide open, caught the tight end, Kaleki Latu. And it's 21-18, and a glimmer of hope remains for the visiting Huskies.
It's a nice route by Denzel Boston. Right, he jabs inside, and there's no reason to break on that, right? You just allow it to happen. You let him catch it and tackle. The time is not on the side of Washington. That's a mistake by Longerbeam, but they have to secure this onside kick right here. And here's a 2-point conversion. Wide open, and a nice catch by Latu to secure it, take the hit.
7 of Rodgers' 10 touchdown passes have gone to Boston this year, including both tonight.
Hey, Tim, remember, what was it, late in the first half when he didn't have any targets, or was it even to the second half?
Yeah.
He didn't have any catches. Well, now he's got 9 targets, 5 catches, 115 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Think of the blocked field goal and the mistake made by Vincent Holmes, the redshirt freshman.
Huge mistake.
Coming off the field while the ball was still in play, so it wasn't a non-contact penalty, which meant they got the play over, and the next play was for a touchdown.
Yeah.
That really is the difference in the game now.
It is. Man, that's tough.
That'll make for a long trip back to Seattle.
It's already long.
Yeah.
It just got longer.
It could all change if the oblong ball bounces the right way on this onsides. And a timeout taken by Rutgers. Now this is right in the wheelhouse.
Rutgers, the first of the half. It'll be a 30-second charge timeout.
Of Greg Schiano, because he loves special teams. When you talk about winning in the margins, the part of it is special teams.
Yeah.
Right here, right now. And, you know, the Kansas State program under Bill Snyder, I mean, it just cratered after he left. They came back and they built it back up again. This is, along with Snyder, I think the best second act for a head coach in the college game that we've ever seen. Other than the great Bill Snyder, the Hall of Famer, what Greg Schiano's doing here.
Yeah. And they love him here.
Oh, yeah.
When we talked to him, he said he bought his old house back. But let's go back to early in the game. Remember the injury where after the injury timeout, Washington takes a timeout. If they don't take that timeout, they'd have 3 right now.
No question.
And with 3 timeouts, you can kick this ball away, get 3 stops, and get the football back. But now you have to depend on it looks like it's not going to be an onside kick. Maybe a kick down the field.
Yeah, it looks like he's planning on exactly that now.
They're not going to have a lot of time left. They will have a little time left if they get 2 stops and timeouts.
Correct. But very little time.
Yeah.
Because they did not get that 2-minute timeout to work for them. They go with the fair catch. They should get about, based on what I hear, 25 seconds or so should be remaining if they get the stop. Our Friday night spotlight sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. Wow, what a move by Monangai. A running game, the power game, which is all Rutgers is about. It's old school, just like their coach.
Yeah, it took a few throws from 8th and Cadillac Manis to make a few throws, loosen up the defense, and then these two running backs, Monangai and Brown the fifth, they really took over.
You got to know who you are.
Yeah.
Right? Kansas State under Snyder knew who they were. They don't beat themselves. Same is true with Schiano coach teams here at Rutgers. He's waking up some echoes of 2006 and 7 right now.
Defense and the ability to run the football.
Monangai, only a yard, maybe a yard and a half, but that's it. And a quick timeout taken by the Huskies. 1 remaining. Only 5 seconds went off the clock on that play. You know, when you think about it, Jed Fish put together this ensemble of talent pretty well, considering he didn't get as many, I think, as maybe he anticipated from Arizona.
Yeah.
That was a lot of talent that he left. We've seen them already earlier this year, and I don't think there's any question Coach Brennan is going to have a good year in Tucson with that team.
If they can get another stop that quickly, they'll have even more time than we suspected when they get this ball back.
Well, because of that 5-second play, theoretically they could get it back with maybe 44, 45 seconds left. Our content coordinator, Scott Alexander, is
crunching the numbers
as we speak. 2nd and 8. Cadillac Manis trying to protect the football, use a little clock by scampering away from the pressure and hoping the clock will tick down some, but it goes down to 1:29. This is so many new pieces for this team. Fish bringing in an entirely new coaching staff, 23, in fact, new coaches. Then they brought in transfer quarterback Will Rogers. 46 new transfers and recruits. That's second most in the Big Ten. And in talking with him and also with Greg Schiano, I think we've touched on this already this season, but in this new era of college football, that time spent in the NFL where you really have to build rosters yearly, I think it comes in handy for these guys, even if they just had a cup of coffee working in the NFL.
Yeah, roster management didn't used to be a thing, but it definitely is now. Retaining players, bringing in new players, making sure you get the right players that come in and understand your culture. But here on this 3rd down, I don't expect this ball to be in the air. We saw it with the Philadelphia Eagles earlier this season. You keep this clock running with Washington having no timeouts.
Let your defense get the job done for you. Monangai wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. And the clock continues to run after a loss of a yard. They will have time to work with.
They will.
And we know that the explosive plays are well within Will Rogers' arm distance.
Yeah, and different than the NFL game, the college game, you have built-in opportunities to stop the clock without timeouts with the gain of first downs, right? So you don't always have to have that ball thrown in the outside and get out of bounds, because if you get a first down, the clock will stop momentarily for the change to move so you can still attack the middle of the field. Now, attacking the middle of the field without a first down would be a mistake for this Washington offense.
Rutgers was a 2.5-point favorite coming into this game. It moved to 1.5.
Timeout, Rutgers. They're 2nd and a half. Be a 30-second charge timeout.
Scotty, I'm disappointed in you. You know, he can't respond on air, but you said 44, it's 42. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. You crunch the numbers and you got 42. Me 2 seconds off. Very good, Scotty. Very good.
Scott Alexander, New Orleans' finest, has been with me for 25 years. Brett Bender for 20. Making sure that we get the numbers and the time correct in late game situations.
And he just corrected you. 31 years.
Oh, well, he's better at math than I am. That's a given. We knew that coming in, right?
Yeah.
Anderson will boot it away. Boston stands at his 32. High, end over end, another fair catch. Job well done by Anderson. And they worked on that at practice yesterday for a long time. 43 yards. We got a marker down back at the line of scrimmage. Well, we'll have to check on that. Those missed field goals. Otherwise, Washington would be in the lead. Looks like they're going to have to. It's a hold on the kicking team, but it appears that they're going to go back and do it again. Perhaps. Well, no, they're just going to take the yardage is what they're going to do. We were in the midst of looking at that, and it missed what Jerry McGinn had to tell us. So they take the yardage, and Gross, his career long is 47. They got a chance to tie this baby up, send us to OT for a second consecutive Friday night.
Yeah, and it's scary because of those missed field goals. You really want to have a touchdown if you're Jed Fish.
I know you do.
But remember, you can get a first down and stop the clock.
They only need 30 yards to get a 46-yard field goal try-off. That's Jackson.
That's not what you want. Not out of bounds, not a first down. The clock continues to run. Just 26 seconds left.
From their own 47 now. Got to look to the sidelines. And they do. And they're going to say that he did get out of bounds. Timeout is called with 15 ticks left.
Well, whether he got out of bounds or not, the clock will stop. I don't think he did get out of bounds, but the clock will stop momentarily. He's down inbounds.
No, that clock should have been going.
No, the clock will stop for a first down.
Yep, it does.
Right, so it stops momentarily, but now the clock is going to start. They got to get to the ball.
Good pickup, partner.
The clock should be running now.
It should be. Yeah, it should be. He called it out of bounds, and that's saving them some time here.
It is.
That was a big miss. Incomplete. Boston, the intended receiver, Longer being the shutdown corner, who got beaten badly on that touchdown catch that you touched on. He's not accustomed to that, so you know he wants to atone for it. 11 seconds left. So you figure they get to the 32, 31, 32-yard line. If they can get there, then maybe they can try a 46, 47-yarder. It'd be about a 48-yarder if they can get past the line to make to about the 31-yard line or the 30.
11 seconds, I don't think, is enough to catch this ball without a first down unless you're going to get hurry up, run on field goal. They should be prepared to do it if that's going to be the case. The idea is to get the ball caught out of bounds or for a first down.
Rutgers is going to take a timeout, I think.
Yeah, they want to shore up things, right? They want to make sure they tell their defensive backfield, everybody be disciplined.
Yeah, you think they saw the Colorado tape?
Oh, yeah.
Colorado-Baylor time. Now they're saying it's an official's timeout rather than a Rutgers timeout. They may be looking at something here. Well, we've had a lot of stoppages for reviews. I have no idea what this is about.
Yeah, because you can't review pass interference or anything like that.
And they should have communicated to us what they were looking at. They have not.
I have no idea what usually we know or have an idea. I don't know. Have any idea what they could be looking at right here.
Mike Pereira may know.
I know.
So let's get him on.
I know one thing. I think I would get the clock operator and get him out of the stadium. I mean, he's made a number of mistakes today. And what they did is they had the ball with 15 seconds, ran a play, and the clock never ran. And then
the further review, the clock is correct at 11 seconds. Clock will start on the snap.
Well,
so
Mike, they're wrong, though.
Well, it never ran until they had killed the clock and ruled it a catch, and then they ran it. And then they ran it down to 11 seconds. So maybe it's where it should be at this point, but yet this is another clock operator. They actually, earlier in the quarter, deducted 11 seconds off of the clock because the clock operator failed to start it on an earlier play. He's having a bad day.
All right. Comes down to this for Washington. That's Davis. He is out of bounds. That's a wonderful defensive play by Eric Rogers, the senior from Burlington, New Jersey. So now we're at 6 seconds. And
I think there's no chance of you trying to field goal
no,
here, right?
Yeah, it's Hail Mary time.
You haven't been able to make field goals from shorter distances, so you don't send them out here to make this one.
Yep.
And like you said, Hail Mary time. Maybe, and this is a strong maybe, maybe you complete a pass for a first down quickly if he can get out of bounds, or just get the first down, have a play prepared. You'll have about 3 seconds to get it snapped so you can get a little closer, but that would be really, really pushing.
Yeah, especially given the 2 misses by Gross. They've been badly pulled. It'd be a wonderful opportunity for him to atone, but that's right now would appear to be a reach. And it doesn't appear as though they're going to go with trips. And it looks like we've got an injured Rutgers player. That's Eric Rogers that's down on the field up around the 43-yard line of Rutgers. So we have another official's timeout due to injury.
Yeah, he's right by his sideline, though.
Yeah, that was an old Jerry Glanville line about an injured player. Just
because he,
as only Jerry could say it.
You know, he had stood
up. Get him off
up.
the tarmac. He did get hit, no question.
He had stood up, and you would think you would take him a step off the field. He's right there, but he looks fine.
Yeah.
But a little more time to think about it for Washington. Devise a plan and get those defenders for Rutgers back in the end zone, anticipating the Hail Mary. And remember, this game isn't over. We've seen one last week, completed for a tie game.
Trips. Oh, they go underneath, trying to get it out of bounds. That's Jackson.
Yeah, that's what I thought they would try. And then, like I said, how much time did I say they would have?
Wow.
3 seconds.
And they're going to bring Gross out. They're going to bring Gross out. They got 2 yards on that play, so they're going to line it up. His misses tonight have been from far closer. This one will be from 55. He's hooked his last 2. From the right hash. And another timeout. This one is by Rutgers, not by the officials.
Timeout, Rutgers. That's a final charge. Timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
Well, they've certainly added to the intrigue to the end of our game.
Oh, yeah. And the old ice the kicker, right? Give him a chance to think about it. Think about those previous misses, maybe. But what an opportunity for him, right? You were in this position. You missed a couple field goals that seemed easy, like chip shots. But you have an opportunity right here to put yourself in a position to go into overtime. And what more can you ask for?
He missed a 42-yarder and a 37-yarder. This is from 55. Out of the hold of Jack McAllister. This sellout crowd will tell you the story. His career-long 47. A huge victory for the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Holding on. Outgained, but not outplayed. Snap was a little high, but McAllister did a nice job of getting it down. And you know what? He got a lot of leg in this. But as has been his problem, he's pulled it. Each of his 3 misses tonight from 37, 42, and now 55 were pulled left. And you feel for that young man, junior from Scottsdale, Arizona. It will be a long flight back for him. But happiness, and I do mean a lot of it, here in New Jersey. And the Scarlet Knights, in that class of teams receiving votes, may now